Hi, my name is Sid. I am an education consultant with Interlace Studies. In this video series, we are providing information to interested international students about Australian education system and providing information that international students should know before they get into the Australian universities. And in this video, I'm going to explain about the Australian universities, how Australian universities in fact evolved, and in what stage Australian universities are at the moment. The modern Australia started in 1788, and at the beginning Australia was not developed as Europe and America and even Asia. So education system of Australia in 1800 was focused on solving problems and then developing skills they need to survive. So at the beginning, Australian education system was skill based. Around 1850s, Australian education providers or should say like people who were interested in education thought that Australia need university. So Australia established University of Sydney in 1850. The goal of the university was to develop higher education teachers, and many people in fact were not very much happy about establishing university because university was mostly academy oriented, and Australia they needed to solve their real problems. So rather than learning, you should learn by doing, and then you should be doing like work. And after 1850, the establishment of University of Sydney, second university established in Melbourne, University of Melbourne in 1853, and that way Australian states at that time thought like we also need our own university. So Tasmania followed, Adelaide, South Australia followed the university, and before First World War or before the Australia became federation, there were 6 universities in each state of Australia. At the beginning, in 1900, Australian universities were focusing basically some academic courses, and the relevant or the usefulness of universities was not clear. And when the Second World War happened, Australia of course took part in the Second World War, and Australia was also attacked by Japan, and they spent so many there is people, army at the same time, so many things in their country. And then Australia decided to develop university and link Australian universities into their national issue. So they thought they started Australian reconstruction project, and then they established 2 more universities, Australian National University and then University of New South Wales. And the objective of these 2 universities, and of course other 6 universities which were there, to develop highly educated higher education professionals. And Australia offered so many scholarships for higher education, and so many Australian students were trying to get into higher education. Then in 1960s, Australia developed further many universities. I think there were 9, I'm not sure, but around that, in order to satisfy those needs. And in 1970s, the second wave of, third I would say, wave of university establishment happened. And then further, I believe 19 or some universities were established. At that time, the objective of those universities was to take universities to the area, not only in Sydney, Melbourne and capital cities, rather we should spread universities into the suburban area or in remote area as well. And during that time, Australian universities were popular, among international at the same time domestic students. And in 1990s, Australia developed further universities, and at the moment Australia has 43 universities in total. And knowing the history of Australian university is very interesting. One thing to know why those universities were established and what was the purpose of higher education. And knowing that story, international students can really understand the value of higher education and what it means to be a higher education student in Australian universities. And that way you will know why you should be like pursuing higher education. And it's a fantastic story, and we would like to share these stories with the students, with you personally. So you can contact us and we will tell you that why you should be going to University of Sydney or University of Melbourne rather than another university or other universities. So knowing this philosophy of its universities, we are confident that how a student can decide which university to go based on that. And we welcome you to our office, or you can contact us through email or telephone. We are more than happy to assist you. Thank you.